So let me start the introduction. Every year, thousands of Filipinos decide to seek employment in other nations. It is not harmful to have the goal of finding a job in another nation. It is common practice in the Philippines for those who desire to improve their financial situation to leave the country in search of better employment opportunities. Expatriate Filipino workers have been given the moniker modern-day heroes for the aggregate contribution that they have made to the economy of the Philippines via the monthly remittances that they send to their loved ones still residing in the Philippines. Statement of the problem. So this study aimed to determine the lived experiences of Filipino expatriate aviation technicians. So it aims to answer the following questions. So number one, what is the profile of the participants in terms of age, course, occupation, name, location of the company they are working for, what made them decide to work overseas as an aviation technician instead in the Philippines? What are the lived experiences of the Filipino expatriate aviation technicians? And lastly, how do Filipino expatriate aviation technicians face the struggles and bereavement of being lonely away from their families? So for the significance of the study, future researchers. So the result of this paper will be beneficial to gain data about expatriate Filipino aviation technicians on their work experiences, challenges they faced, and adjustments to their way of life while working overseas for a year or more. For the national government, the outcome of the study will help the national government improve the aviation technician situation within the Philippines. And for the school administrations, they will gain information about the experiences of the participants to be able to make important challenges or changes to the technician's curriculum to further enhance the knowledge and skills of the technician students. So this paper can help them think about how they could prepare the students to the culturally competent or to be culturally competent. Next is for the student aviation technicians. So technician students and recent graduates may impart insight into figuring out if they want to consider working abroad or domestically. Okay. So the data from the study can also help them to know what to expect and what would possibly influence their decisions about what or where to work about abroad. And lastly, for the technicians, excuse me. So the results of the study will be a stepping stone in widening the perspective of technicians working abroad. So technicians all over the world will be able to better understand and have an idea of the work system and the technician's practice. Let's move on to the scope and limitations of the study. In general, this is concerned with the lived experiences of the Filipino expatriate aviation technicians who have worked outside of the Philippines for at least 1 year. So using a descriptive phenomenological methodology, the study primarily aimed to learn about the participants' employment, experiences concerning problems, adjustment process, and ways of living. So here we have the conceptual framework. For the input, we have Filipinos who are working as expatriate aviation technicians. So we have inclusion, natural-born Filipino citizen, a licensed aviation technician in the Philippines, licensed in their country of work. So the profile of the participants in terms of age, occupation, location of their work. For the process, we have included ethical considerations and informed consent, the participants' recruitment, interview, and collection of data, analysis of data using Collasis 1978, descriptive phenomenological approach, and interpretation of data. For the output, so themes that engage or emerge, from the study, which can be used as a basis and guide for aviation students. So this will be the lived experiences of Filipino expatriate aviation technicians. For the research design, so this study utilized the descriptive survey method of research. So this paper employed a qualitative research design following a descriptive approach. So for the participants of the study, so the participants of the study were Filipinos, no, who are working as expatriate aviation technicians abroad. So we have here the inclusion criteria: natural-born Filipino citizen, a licensed aviation technician in the Philippines, a licensed aviation technician abroad, holds any position as long as she has aviation experience in any company. For the exclusion criteria naman po, no, not a Filipino citizen working abroad for more than 20 years. So research instrument, the unstructured questionnaires was used to gather the data needed. So you cue participants with some of the Filipino expatriate aviation technician use the prepared guide, so which includes the suggestions and opinions of the students about the lived experiences of Filipino expatriate aviation technicians. So for the data gathering procedure, we have 4 phases. Phase 1, ethical considerations and informed consent. Phase 2, participant recruitment. Phase 3, data collection. And Phase 4, data analysis. Next, for the results and discussions, for number 1, so we have the age, the course, or occupation, name, location of the company they are working for. Okay. So for number 2, so what made them decide to work overseas as an aviation technician instead of the Philippines? So we have themes and sub-themes. So for theme 1, we have benefits, no? So under this, we have salary, healthcare, food, accommodation, and transportation. Next. What are the lived experiences of Filipino expatriate aviation technicians? So we have themes and sub-themes here. So for theme 2, we have adaptation. For adaptation, we have relationship and communication with coworkers. These are sub-themes, no? Advanced technology, workload, social support strategies, and sense of belongingness. And last, how do Filipino expatriate aviation technicians face the struggles and bereavement of being lonely away from their families? So we have theme 3, the challenges. For the sub-themes, we have language barrier, overtime culture shock, presence of threats, discriminations. Next. For the discussion, no? So in the study, the participants have expressed their personal experiences about their own challenges, ways to cope up, the benefits they receive, their scope of responsibilities in their working field, and the adjustments they have encountered due to the cultural differences. So for the summary, expatriate aviation technicians working in abroad are vulnerable to experiencing various challenges due to the differences in language, culture, and beliefs. However, despite these challenges, there are also benefits that these expatriate aviation technicians receive during their stay in their country. So this indicates that it is imperative to study the experiences of expatriate aviation technicians practicing their profession in abroad. So for the summary conclusion recommendations, so for number 1, the age, the course, occupation, name, location of the company they are working for. And for the second SOP, what made them decide to work overseas as an aviation technician instead in the Philippines? So we have here the first theme, benefits, no? So the first theme, benefits, explain the privileges that aviation companies abroad offer and give to their workers in addition to compensation. So the sub-themes that have emerged include salary, healthcare, food accommodation, and transportation. So for salary, no, it was the first sub-theme which all the participants mentioned as their driving factor for staying and working for an extensive time abroad. On the subtheme of healthcare, it was noted that the majority of the participants mentioned health can cover care coverage as an employee benefit to protect their well-being and maintain good health. So the next sub-themes, food, accommodation, and transportation emerge as participants mentioned, receiving these benefits from their particular company. So receiving food allowances, free accommodation, and complimentary transportation enable the aviation technicians to enjoy a high-quality work life as expatriate aviation technicians abroad. Okay. Next is adaptation. That will be the second theme. So for adaptation, it has explored the abilities and capacity of Filipino expatriate aviation technicians to adapt in their new environment. So for the sub-teams that have already emerged include their relationship with coworkers, advanced technology, workload, social support, strategies, and sense of belongingness. So for the sub-team, for sub-team relationship and communication with coworkers, um, discusses the good and engaging relationships of the participants with their coworkers of different nationalities. Integration and collaboration were ways to deal with the conflicts between them, which made it easier for them to solve their problems. For the advanced technology, as one of the sub-themes, innovation practice that tackled the modernization effect of utilizing high technology in the aviation setting to improve the services to company. Let's move on to the fourth SOP. How do Filipino expatriate aviation technicians face the struggles and bereavement of being lonely away from their families? So that will be the third theme, challenges. So these challenges has explored the difficulties encountered by the aviation technicians while working in abroad as expatriate aviation technicians. So confronting difficulties is not uncommon and can also arise in the workplace, particularly when working as an expatriate. The participants discussed several difficulties they encountered, which engaged as sub-themes or which emerged as sub-themes, including language barrier, overtime, culture shock, presence of threats, and discrimination. So language barrier was one of the sub-themes that the participants have considered as a problem in their workplace. So in addition to this, several participants identified problems that resulted in the emergence of this challenge, including miscommunication, conflict, and danger. Next, for the conclusion, foreign countries are known for its openness to recruit aviation technicians from different countries. The high demand for aviation technicians has brought several Filipinos abroad in order to share and render their skills and knowledge. However, in some studies, it was mentioned that there were a lot of challenges and factors that led to high turnover of expatriate aviation technicians, since the present study has explored the live experiences of Filipinos who have served as expatriate aviation technicians abroad. For the recommendations, following the study's conclusion, the researchers identified the study's strengths and weaknesses, as well as its deficiencies. Based on the study's findings, the researchers were able to make proposal recommendation for changes that they believe can improve the future studies with the same area of concern. So that's all for this study, and thank you.